Hey, good morning, my dear friends, and welcome to beautiful Surfside, California on an absolutely lovely day. Hey, I am out on the Independence on an 8-day trip returning November the 26th. But that doesn't mean we're not going to have constant updates for you all. We're going to try to come to you from the Independence. It may be a little bit shorter because the upload on the internet is difficult sometimes, but we will be coming live to you all on occasion, and we will also be posting shorts, and also we'll be over there on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, and also Apple Podcasts and Spotify. That's the plan anyway. We're going to try to come to you every single day, multiple times during the day, to keep you informed on how our 8-day trip is going. It should be fantastic. Please remember to visit all of our sponsors. We really appreciate it when you do that. It means the world to us and to them, and it shows your love for the Friedman Adventures family. And don't forget, for the holiday season, come on, get somebody you love, somebody who loves Friedman Adventures, a hat or a shirt or some other Friedman Adventures merchandise. You can do that by going to www.embroiderycreations.net and please purchase some hats and shirts. It would mean the world to me. It helps us to produce more content, and you get to sport the fact that you are a very important member of the Friedman Adventures family. All right, on the Independence back in November 26th, but constant updates headed your way. Thanks again for being here with us. I deeply appreciate it. Everybody, I thought I would share the story of Natalia, a Down syndrome child, a beautiful child who lives in Mexicali, Mexico, pretty close to us here in the United States. She desperately needs heart surgery. She has a tear in her heart that needs to be repaired. And her aunt, Claudia, is a dear friend of mine. So I thought we would share her story with you. And if you have it within you, if you have the means, perhaps you could contribute to Natalia. Here's the story now. Hey everybody, Jeremy Lucas is a fine young man, and he's got a YouTube channel and broadcasts on several other social media platforms. He live streams his fishing, and it's really exciting, it's really informative, and it's really great. I talked to Jeremy just the other day, and I thought I would introduce him to you now. Don't forget to visit your surf fishing headquarters in Southern California. Big Fish Bait and Tackle in the beautiful city of Seal Beach. And if you need your garage door worked on or need a new one installed, Joe Welker's at your service. If you want to stay in Ensenada, man, you'll feel like you're a million miles away from everything, yet you're only 15 minutes from downtown Ensenada. Give Zeke a call right away. And if you're headed to the Channel Islands, you'll want to fish on board the Island Spirit out of Ventura Sport Fishing. Nobody does it better. The Taxman, Tim Marquez, for all your tax needs. And for your heating and or air conditioning needs, you're going to want to see John Lopez at Efficient Heating and Air Conditioning. If you want to go to Catalina Island, do it on the El Patron. Go to www.longbeachsportfishing.org and get on the El Patron. And don't forget to support the Friedman Adventures channel by getting your merch today. Hey everybody, welcome to a really special edition of Friedman Adventures. We are here in Surfside, California, and I've got a treat for you because Jeremy Lucas, a waterman's life. Come on out here, Jeremy. It's good to see you, my friend.
How's it going, Phil?
How
Thank
are
you
you?
for having me.
What's
Appreciate
happening,
you.
man?
Oh, great. Can't complain to be here. Beautiful morning here in Sunset.
God. So
thank you.
beautiful.
Yeah, thank you for the invite.
Oh, my pleasure. So we want to learn a little bit about your channel and delve into that a little bit more. But before we go any farther, tell us, how can we find your channel? Let's get that right up front. Yeah. And then we'll get into what you do and how often you do it and everything else.
Perfect. A Waterman's Life. All one word is the easiest way to find it. You could literally throw it into Google. It will come up. But YouTube, Twitch.tv, and now Facebook. I live stream on all three of them. If I'm fishing, and I fish 3 days a week, I am live. From the moment I put my bait in the water to the moment I take my last bait out of the water, we are live the entire time. Not just updates, not just reports, the whole fishery.
I absolutely love that because it's totally unscripted. And from one moment to the next, you don't know as the viewer what's going to happen. You might catch one, you might not catch one. There's that doubt, there's that mystery. I love it.
100%. There's even other boaters out there that sometimes I have to deal with, not just the fish.
Yeah.
So, there's a lot of personality going on beyond just fishing. There's a lot of community going on since I'm live. There's chats on all 3 platforms, and people talk with me, interact with me. They learn from me. I learn from them sometimes. It's a great, awesome experience that a lot of people don't even know about either.
Yeah, exactly. A waterman's life. That suggests a waterman that you do more than just fishing. Is that true?
Correct. Yeah. So I will do a lot of the outdoor shows. I'll go put on a silly sign, walk around, and show you guys all the booths and showcase the booths, the brands, and whatnot that want to be a part of the stream. I also do. I've done a whale watching trip down to Baja and Magdalena Bay, which was amazing. We literally got our hands on. I kissed a gray whale, all live on stream.
Wow, that is awesome.
And we do traveling stuff too. Like we've been to Brazil with Stoked on Fishing, and I did 7 days straight of Amazon rainforest peacock bass trophy fishing. It was amazing. So not only fishing, but also like the whale watching, and we will go and do shows as well, which is great for the community outreach.
Man, those whale watch trips down there in Mag Bay and Scammons Lagoon, areas like that. Wow.
Mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Absolutely mind-blowing. And those whales are just as curious as we are. Just as curious as we are. If they don't want to be around us, they don't. They're gone. Psh, gone. But some of those, they'll see the boat and it's like they're back from last year. They come straight to the boat and they're like, "What's up?" Scratching their back, scratching their nose. It's the funniest and most epic thing I've ever done. Awesome thing, yeah.
Yeah. Tell us about some of your most outstanding catches while you were live streaming.
So far, by far number 1 live catch would be the 600 plus pound swordfish that I leadered. I didn't get it landed. It did blow up my rod, which is unfortunate, but those fish, they put your gear to the limit. But that was all live streamed. I literally had it to the boat several times, but it would keep running as soon as it got close. But yeah, literally such a big fish that while I was live, my sponsors, Stoked on Fishing, were watching me. Andrew, one of the owners, jumped in his Everglades right here in the harbor and ran out there to assist me because I was live, and he saw that fish surface and he's like, "That's a bigger fish than I've ever seen, I've ever caught." His biggest fish is a 480 pound black marlin. So when he saw that thing surface, he's like, "You're going to need help, man. At least with the gaffing," And when he got there, he's like, "I'm not going to touch that rod or reel. You're going to do this solo, but at least I can work the engine for you and maybe gaff it for you."
Wait a minute now. So awesome. You were all alone?
All alone. Sometimes I don't have fishing partners and I have to stick to my 3-day-a-week schedule for my audience. My audience, if I tell them I'm going to be on, I would like to be on.
Yeah.
3 days a week, Mondays, Wednesdays, and right now Friday nights. So it's great. So yeah, sometimes I don't have a partner, so I got to get out there and do it.
What vessel were you on?
I'm on my own 19-foot power catamaran. It's a single engine with a 150 horsepower. I have it pretty much decked out as much as I can for what I could afford. And yeah, that's what I do. I've taken that thing about 60 miles past San Clemente Island. So
wow.
It was not 60 miles past, 16 miles past San Clemente.
It
was a total of, I believe,
I
believe it was a total of about 88 miles offshore.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
Very good.
Yeah.
Tell us, were you deep dropping for that swordfish or what?
Daytime deep dropping with the light rig, big giant squid, 1 buoy line, 1 boat line, and the buoy line is what went off.
When do you start your live stream on a trip like that? As you're departing or right when you start fishing?
So I've learned to start when I start fishing.
Yeah.
People want action.
Yeah.
I used to start as soon as I got on the boat so people could gather up, but some will dwindle off before I start even fishing.
Yes.
So I've learned to, as soon as I start fishing, even when I'm lobstering, sometimes I'll go get the pots in the water and then start right before I do the first pull so they don't have to wait during soak time.
Yeah, that's such a great idea. And, when you're doing podcasting like you and I are doing all the time, people will say to me sometimes, "Well, what's your plan, when you're starting something new or something?" And I always say, "Jeremy, it will evolve. It will naturally evolve." And that's exactly what you're doing. You're learning as you go along how
100%.
to hold on to an audience, how to attract an audience. It's all
Yeah.
great stuff.
Exactly. Yeah, I've done different upgrades to my stream. Like the latest one has been a picture-in-picture. So a lot of people like to see the fish finder and the chart and what have you. So when I'm deep dropping, I put a picture-in-picture on the screen while live streaming. So of course I'm the main picture, but up in the top corner I'll put the fish finder so people could see the deep scattering
Very
layer,
cool.
see the bite, whatnot, and then I could also change it to a different camera perspective if I needed to too. I could rotate to different camera perspectives while on my boat. If I'm doing a collaboration with like the Eldorado or a sport fishing boat, I just have my backpack set up, which a lot of people have seen like at the shows or whatnot. I'm just wearing my single camera with a backpack and I could fish in that and do anything I need in that.
How do you get such a good signal while you're doing that all the time?
So if I'm within cell service, I have two cell services that boost together.
Yeah.
With onshore, I'm using Starlink.
That's what I thought.
Elon
Yeah.
Musk's SpaceX Starlink.
Perfect, right?
Yes, sir.
You could sit in the middle of the Baja Desert and do a show, right?
Right, exactly. And I get offers from these charters to use their Starlink when I go on boat, but I still always bring mine because it's a satellite connection. You want the best connectivity for my viewers.
Yes.
I want, if I could bring in that 1080p on every stream, that's what I would like. But with connectivity issues, sometimes they'll drop down to 720, sometimes it flickers, sometimes they'll drop out completely. But the stream doesn't end, it will just go to a BRB screen and it will show like clips of my catches and whatnot. So it's not like the stream ends and then I have to restart it. It just will come back when it comes back. And normally it doesn't take long.
That's
But
awesome.
that's the realism of being live out in the middle of the ocean.
Yes, I absolutely love it. What's another great catch you've had?
That halibut that you
I
shared.
know.
That halibut that you shared. It
That was a big flatty.
yeah, boat weight of 38 pounds on the bounce ball rig. I'm a believer in that bounce ball rig for halibut, you guys. A lot of you guys are stuck on that drifting with the live bait. It works, don't get me wrong, I catch them like that too, but there's a million ways I say to catch to catch all these fish. To each their own though is what I have learned to say. If it works for you, do it, but I promise you guys, if you like halibut, get those bounce ball rigs out. You will not regret it. You cover twice as much ground and you just attract more fish.
Why don't you go into a little bit of detail about how to bounce ball for halibut? Now you've got everybody's interest out there. I know you do.
So bounce balling is you're just slow trolling, if you will. Most boats you got to bump in and out of gear because you want to keep it in between 2 to 3 miles per hour. Drifting, you drift 1 miles an hour if you're lucky. So you're covering area. And the bounce ball rig is what you have is a cannonball on a line, and then behind on your main line, you have what is called a dodger. It's like a salmon flasher, but it's a dodger. Dodgers just dodge back and forth. Flashers, they like to spin. Dodgers, they dodge back and forth, and the reason why you want that dodger is you put your hoochie or your artificial or whatever you're using on just a 14-inch leader right behind that bad boy. And that action of that dodger not only looks like a big school of bait from afar, but will put action in your lure, which will make it seem alive, will make it seem like something. And halibut, they eat anything. So when they come up and they see that, or from afar, when they see that flickering, they might see, oh, there's bait over there. When they get to it and they just see a dodger, they're like, oh, that's not bait. What the heck's going on? Oh, but that fish thought it was bait too. Let me eat that guy. And it happens every time. I like to bounce ball in 60 plus of water, which we're finding out a lot bigger halibut down there. On average, I'm getting 30-pound halibut down there. So it's great down there. Don't get me wrong, I still get 22s and sometimes get shorts.
Yeah.
But the average is a bit bigger, and you're able to fish more lines as well. I got 4 lines out normally when bounce balling. I put one way far, then I stagger them all the way back.
Yeah.
And I could turn, I could do whatever I want. And I have commercial guys that literally get 8 to 12 halibut sometimes in one session when they find the bite, So I'm not there yet, but I'm learning.
Oh, you're doing fantastic.
I'm that average Joe fisherman, I like to say. You come and watch me, it's going to feel like you're watching a friend, watching yourself or whatnot. It's not like you're out there watching a pro where it's like, oh man, this guy's talking about stuff that's out of my league. No, I'm that average Joe fisherman. You'll feel just at home.
That is fantastic. You mentioned a moment ago covering ground, and that is so important when you're halibut fishing. They're ambush predators, so they're kind of set up in a specific area. They will see, like you said, something that'll attract their interest, but most of the time they're just waiting for an unsuspecting bait to go by, and then they're going to jump on it.
Exactly, but I'll tell you that 38-pounder, he followed that. So when I say bump it in and out, You bump it out of gear because you want to make sure those cannonballs hit the bottom. So you'll watch your rod tip. When it relieves, you know that the cannonball hit the bottom.
Yes.
So it had been probably easily 5 minutes before I had bumped it out. So who knows where those Dodgers were.
Yes.
I'm theorizing that that Dodger was well off the ground and that halibut came in fast and hard on that from a distance, not from an ambush. But they ambush all the time. We pass by them and that's where the drifting comes in. Most drift bites are on the ambush. So bounce balling not only gives you the ambush bite chance, but it also gives you the predatory hunting bite because halibut get off the ground during the day and they go hunt. They'll come back at night
100%.
and sleep.
Yeah.
I spearfish as well, and I've done some spearfishing for halibut off the beaches, and they're like deer in the headlight with a light. You come up, you find them, you shine their light on them. You can literally come up and stab them with a knife. They will not move. So, but during the day, they get up, swim around looking for their bait, and yeah.
100%. I'm sure, I don't know if you have or not, but being a longtime surf fisherman, I've seen them jump in the surf.
Oh yeah,
times.
they talk. That's what I talk when people ask me about my experience fishing them from shore. I'll tell them, don't hesitate to switch your baits up. Use that lucky craft that only dives a foot and a half because they will eat the top surface bait. Use that drop shot that's a foot or two off the ground because they are ambushing bait off the bottom too. I've caught them 2 feet off within the water, probably within 3 to 6 inches of water. Right when I'm coming up to the shore, bit. It's like, whoa, I thought I was done fishing. I thought I was going to be pulling that lure out of the water, and bam, it gets slammed. Another thing about surf fishing, since we're going there,
yeah.
If you're a wader fisherman while fishing for halibut, only use those waders to keep your feet dry. Stay on the sand. You are scaring away so many halibut and so many fish by being knee deep or waist deep or however deep you could get with those waders. I understand you want to get that lure out far, but when I first started surf fishing, I did that. After scaring away 3 or 4 big halibut in clear water because I was walking down casting, I stopped and my hookup rate started going up because I started catching them in between that sand line and my wader line. It's unbelievable. Wear your waders to keep you dry if you want, but I wouldn't wade or fish with them.
Jeremy, that is such a good point. I don't think people realize how close fish, halibut, corbina, all kinds of different species here in the surf are in that short water. Literally, if you do walk out there, you'll feel them bumping up against 100%. Your legs.
So a lot of people, I surf too, and we are aware of the stingrays out there. So a lot of the times when people feel the stingrays, they're like, oh, and they jump because they don't want to get stung. And those stingrays are fast though, and typically they're going to at least nick you. So the surfers, a lot of times when they feel something and they don't get nicked, I normally tell them it was probably a halibut. Because there are a lot of halibut out here, and they sometimes won't move until you step on them, which I found out while wader fishing. I got right up next to so many, and all of a sudden they're like gone. And that happens while spearfishing too. When you go and descend accidentally right above one, because you're cruising the bottom while you're spearfishing for them. But if you descend right above one and you're coming down right on them, they're gone too.
Yeah.
So.
Do you ever spearfish for white sea bass?
Yes. PV. Catalina.
Great yeah.
I've tried San Onofre kelp lines, but those kelp lines have been absolutely just massacred ever since that really big swell about 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, white sea bass, I prefer to go spearfishing for them because they're just ghosts when you're rod and reeling for them. There's lots of techniques to try to get them rod and reeling, but it's just so much easier to get in the water for some species.
Oh yeah, for sure. Hey, just back to the halibut for one moment. One thing I have noticed, the halibut bite in Southern California is as good as I've seen it for decades here the last few years. Have you noticed that increase?
I've been fishing 3 days a week consistently for about the last 3 years. And then before that, it was occasionally. So I really only know about I could really only speak for the last 3 years.
Gotcha. It's been good though, right?
Yes. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
It's one of my main fisheries when I don't know what to do. I'm like, hey, let's go for halibut. One, it's a great fish. It's a prize fish, and not only a lot of people don't realize it's not on the menu in a lot of places because of how delicate it is, not because it's so hard to get a hold of or whatever, but a lot of people can't cook halibut. It's so delicate. Undercook halibut, people. If you overcook it, it goes into chewiness immediately.
Undercook everything.
Yes, I agree, but halibut especially.
Yes.
Yeah, but yeah, it's great, and yeah, I would agree with there's evidence of that coming from 2-fish keep to the 5-fish keep.
Yeah.
So even our surveyors are noticing like, hey, we could allow our recreation guys to take more.
Yeah, it definitely is on
Right.
the increase. South of the border or exotic locales, you mentioned some of those. What's been a memory for you that you live stream somewhere, some other country, some other
So
exotic location?
definitely my top 2 favorite places so far have been Brazil. I'm not a freshwater guy, but oh my goodness, was Brazil mind-blowing. Literally could catch 100 trophy peacock bass within a day, and we're fishing for 7 days.
Wow.
So it is absolutely amazing. Look at this beautiful water
Are you
coming
going
on
to
us.
screw your shoes
Oh
up?
no,
You're
we're good. I'm in Crocs.
All right,
Woo!
perfect.
All right. Heck yeah. But no, yeah, Brazil. If anyone could ever do a Brazil trip, do it. Yes, it's a little bit pricey, but I promise you, you will not regret it. Put it on your bucket list fishing. Another place, a lot of us go to Baja, California, living
Yes.
here in Southern California. I've been to quite a few places down there, and I've come to love Magdalena. Magdalena during certain times of year is just absolutely mind-blowing.
Phenomenal.
They have great banks right outside in the Pacific that are only an hour and a half to 2 hours away, depending on which boat you're on. So you get to those banks really fast and literally open bite. But if you're not out offshore bank fishing, there's also the inshore stuff that's amazing. I was knife fishing and yo-yo fishing for yellowtail, and we were getting good size yellowtail.
Wow.
Me and the captain landed 12 within an hour, and mainly me, because of course if I'm not on a fish and he hooks up, since I'm the one there fishing, he would hand it off to me.
Yeah.
So, but I kid you not, probably 7 out of those 12, if not 8 out of those 12 were mine, and then the rest were his. But just literally, we'd drop it on, drop it on, drop it on. Like
cool.
it was amazing.
Were you live streaming?
All live,
Wow,
all live.
that's
like,
fantastic.
I don't fish unless I'm live now. I do deckhands still for certain charters, but that's the only time I really fish if I'm not live.
Yeah.
And I'm not really fishing. I'm hooking and handing on those chips.
Yeah. And it's important that everybody know that after the live stream, that video is archived. So people that are hearing about the swordfish or hearing about this wide open yellowbite or your whale watching adventures, they can go watch that.
Yeah,
show,
you
right?
can go watch it all like it was live. I do my best to edit them down and get them reposted. I'm only a one-man clan here at A Waterman's Life, though, so
Man, I know that feeling.
Try my hardest to get those edits out, but with live broadcasting 3 days a week and being a full-time caregiver for my main income, I'm a live-in caregiver, so
Yes.
so when I'm not streaming, I'm normally doing that, and when I'm getting ready for my streams,
Yes.
so I find very little time to edit. So hey, if there's an editor out there that wants to help volunteer with The Waterman's Life, we could go a long way when I start getting there, But hey, you never know. And
Hey, that's the way to do it, man. I'm
Yeah.
in the same boat as you. It's
Right.
a labor of love, isn't it?
It is. It really is. You boat owners that are watching, you know how much it costs to run a boat on a day, and I'm doing that plus running the production. It's not a cheap venture, but I'm trying my hardest, and I know I'll get there.
Oh man, you're doing a great job. What days can we count on a live stream? I know there's going to be exceptions if you get some really lousy weather or something like
Right.
that, but most of the time, what days are you on?
My current stream schedule is Monday a.m., Wednesday a.m., and Friday p.m. It varies on when I get to start because, some days I just get out a little bit later than others, but Mondays definitely in the PM, Wednesdays definitely starts in the PM, so it will go into, AM, it will definitely go into the PM sometimes, and then Friday nights, since it's lobster season, it's lobstering. Friday night lobstering, PM time. I do it local here in the harbor, sometimes Catalina, sometimes other locations.
Excellent. I can't tell you how thrilled I am that you came down here because I know everybody out there is going to enjoy this, and I'm sure you're going to continue to grow and grow and grow, Jeremy. Great
Amen.
stuff.
Amen. Yes, I really am. I'm excited for it. 3 days a week, every single week, I'm fishing on average 6 to sometimes 16 hours. You know how fishing is. Sometimes you get out there on a charter and you want to fish the entire time if you're on the fish.
Yeah, of
and
course.
I'm streaming the entire time. I rotate my batteries if I have to. If I'm fishing, I'm live.
And what platforms are you on again?
Twitch TV / A Waterman's Life, YouTube.com / at A Waterman's Life, and then Facebook.com / A Waterman's Life. All platforms, A Waterman's Life, one word, you'll find me.
Jeremy, thank you so much. What a pleasure, my friend.
Thank you.
Continued great success. You and I are going to have to do some fishing together
I
one of
would
these times
love
really
that.
soon. Me too.
Love that.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Thank you.
Don't forget to visit your surf fishing headquarters in Southern California. Big Fish Bait and Tackle in the beautiful city of Seal Beach. And if you need your garage door worked on or need a new one installed, Joe Welker's at your service. If you want to stay in Ensenada, man, you'll feel like you're a million miles away from everything, yet you're only 15 minutes from downtown Ensenada. Give Zeke a call right away. And if you're headed to the Channel Islands, you'll want to fish on board the Island Spirit. Out of Ventura Sport Fishing, nobody does it better. The Taxman, Tim Marquez, for all your tax needs. And for your heating and or air conditioning needs, you're going to want to see John Lopez at Efficient Heating and Air Conditioning. If you want to go to Catalina Island, do it on the El Patron. Go to www.longbeachsportfishing.org and get on the El Patron. And don't forget to support the Friedman Adventures channel by getting your merch today.